Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Here are among the miracles of God's messenger Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. As recorded in several sources, at about 12 when he traveled the caravan towards Damascus with his paternal uncle Abu Talib, priest Bahira discovered the miracles and features of prophethood on him. The priest was among the few individuals who could understand well the ancient scriptural verses which described clearly the features of the coming messenger. Thousands of miracles have been witnessed and recorded from the Holy Prophet, upon him be peace and blessings. They can make our lessons unbearably huge if they are all analyzed in footages. Here we explain just few of them. We begin with the Holy Quran as a fantastic miracle. It remains the greatest miracle that the Almighty put to his messenger. As said before, he throws a challenge to the entire humanity several times, asking them to compose just a chapter of its like if their argument is really true. The argument of its being just an ordinary scripture, composed by human being. Nobody, even in these centuries of knowledge, science and technology, can dare composing. Nobody, even in these centuries of artificial intelligence, can dare composing. Literature through poetry was the most influential way to convey messages to people and change people's ways of thinking. After its revelation, the Holy Quran overwhelmed literature, while the Prophet who was reciting it was still illiterate. The world was asking as to how could an illiterate man present such an extraordinary, eloquent recitation. The answer could be nothing but the messengership miracle. Those with fruitful contemplation could not hold back their inclination towards bearing the witness. The testimony that there is no deity worthy of being worshipped except God the Almighty and that Muhammad is his messenger. One among the innumerable miracles of the Holy Quran is it's talking about scientific matters so long ago, just in 7th century, before they're being experimentally discovered, so later such as from the 19th century, with the help of advanced equipments. The noble messenger, upon him be peace and blessings, is the teacher of such scientific affairs after comprehending them to the best. How did he know them while illiterate? This therefore remains a notable miracle to people who apply well their brains. The compatibility of the Holy Quran to the modern sciences is going to be explained in the coming topics as profoundly analyzed by contemporary scholars such as Dr. Zakir Naik. Again, it was talking also about events occurred during the previous messengers as how they were mentioned in the Torah and the Gospel, which was not accessible to Arabs. Examples are in Al-Imran 44, Hud 49, Yusuf 102, and Al-Qasas 46. God tells, مَا كُنْتَ تَعْلَمُهَا أَنْتَ وَلَا قَوْمُكَ مِنْ قَبْلِ هَذَا. You did not know them, neither you nor your people before this. Quran 11:49. In 344, God says, وَمَا كُنْتَ لَدَيْهِمْ إِذْ يُلْقُونَ أَقْلَامَهُمْ أَيُّهُمْ يَكْفُلُ مَرْيَمَ. You were not with them when they cast their pens to decide which of them would take charge of Mary. At the time the messenger was reciting the Quranic verses, the original copies of Torah and Gospel were hardly accessible, harder in Arabic, so many Arabs were unable to read them. Even some who had been reciting them got shocked of his explaining the events more deeply than stated in the copies they had. It astonished many scholars years later when the original copies were discovered, though taken apocryphal, such as the Gospel of St. Thomas, which was discovered near Nag Hammadi, Egypt, in 1940 among a group of books known as the Nag Hammadi Library. Scholars speculate the works were buried in response to a letter from Bishop Athanasius declaring a strict canon of Christian scripture. The text was discovered in other places else, and it was confirmed that God's messenger had been more precisely explaining the events than the Jews and Christians in the Arabian Peninsula, people whom for centuries had been made to believe that the details come from non-canonical texts. The questions were, how could the illiterate Muhammad know the events even more comprehensively than the daily reciters of the Torah and the Gospel? Why so, while even some profound Jewish and Christian scholars had no access to such texts? But how did he read them while illiterate? If the Quran was an ordinary book possible to have been composed by human being as he was the one who composed it, they were challenged to do the same. But why did they fail? While they are more profound in spiritual matters as well as literacy. The answers remained nothing but the testimonial miracles of his messengership.